Well, hello, everyone, and good Saturday morning to you. Welcome to another exciting and spellbinding, I don't even know what that means, really, spellbinding, but I know how to use the word. I'm just not sure what it actually literally means. But anyway, welcome to another Best of Matt Connarton Unleashed from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. And, of course, you can hear Matt Connarton Unleashed live weekdays from 4 to 6 p.m. But here we like to bring you the best of. I was thinking earlier, too, maybe we'll do, like for an end-of-the-year special, we'll do the very best of Matt Connarton Unleashed, where we take all the best clips from the best ofs and put them into one very best of mega show. I'm completely kidding. We're not going to actually do that. We'll just keep making more best ofs. But anyway, I mean, it's an interesting idea, but that'd be a lot of work, my friends. Anyway, let's dive in, shall we? We'll share some of our favorite recent clips, and who knows, we might even reach back in time to some of the early days of the show as well. I'm not going to give any more clues, though, whether or not we're actually going to do that, because as I record this at this moment, I don't know whether we're actually going to do that. Maybe we'll just do recent stuff. We'll see how things go. We'll see how I feel. I approach this almost entirely on instinct, my friends, which is kind of another way of saying I try not to overthink it, which some people then take as you try not to put much thought into it at all, which is not what I'm saying at all. But anyway, let's get to our first clip. I recently was visited by the Honorable Gary S. Hopper. He is a New Hampshire state representative from the town of Ware, and Gary pops in now and then. We shared a clip of Gary last week as well, where he got into a pretty intense discussion with John Hopwood, or John C. Hopwood, or John Claude Hopwood. But John Hopwood is not in this clip. This is just Gary and I. Not only is Gary a local politician, he's also an inventor, and he has invented a great many things. And in this clip, he presents his latest invention, which, out of all of his ideas, this one's actually not half bad. He might be onto something, but here, you can judge for yourself. Here it is. I am not alone, my friends. It's so weird to see him on a Monday. But he does, in fact, exist outside of Wednesdays. The Honorable Gary S. Hopper.
I only exist for a few moments.
Oh.
It is just to confuse you.
That is confusing. That's like some weird existential stuff. Do you think there's like an alternate universe where you exist at other times? You know, like the whole multiverse theory. Like, there could be an infinite number of the Honorable Gary S. Hoppers.
There is, but they're all awesome. There's no other universe where the Honorable Gary S. Hopper is less than awesome.
Okay.
So it is, yes, it's alternative, but not an alternative as in there's a evil Gary S. Hopper.
If there were, he would have a goatee.
He would be awesome.
Like evil Spock.
Right, exactly. Yeah, right. Maybe.
But he'd be awesome at being evil.
Yeah, he would be very awesome at being evil. Yes. But that doesn't exist.
Oh.
Because I'm currently aware of all my other existences at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
I would think that would drive you...
One of us is having ice cream. It's pretty great.
I would think... Really?
No, it's really good because...
I would think it would drive you insane.
No. It's because you can tap into whatever the other ones are doing at any given time. And, one's taking out the trash, but the other one's, in bed with a beautiful woman. It's like, you're just sitting there and also go, wow. This is pretty great.
Yeah, that's okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't even have to tell my wife. Right. Because that's not reasonable.
Well, in an alternate universe, she's probably not your wife anyway.
Probably not. No.
Yeah.
Definitely. With that, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
You got quite the infinite number of lives in the multiverse.
Well, that's how I come up with all my inventions.
Oh.
I don't actually think of them. They just exist elsewhere.
Ah, I see.
Like the deer spinner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's in a very redneck world. extremely redneck world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so I just saw it there, and then I said, oh, yeah, I bet nobody's heard it here.
Right, yes.
So I got a new one.
Okay.
And I haven't made the prototype yet.
Okay.
But I'm working on it.
Well, that's all right. It's radio. It's theater of the mind. So
Okay,
you can describe it.
exactly. I'll describe it effectively. So,
Yes.
Because, like, as I've told you many times, and it's like I have to tell people this so they would know, is I am a genius.
Right. You're a
Right?
stable genius.
I'm stable
Yes,
genius.
yes.
As opposed to an unstable genius or something.
Right.
Right. So, my latest genius is, you see these kids, especially teenagers. I don't think adults are as prone to it as teenagers, but they'll be sitting there with their head bent like 90 degrees staring at their cell phone while they're walking.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's pretty dangerous.
It is, yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
There's no telling how many walls you can walk into before you break your nose.
There's YouTube videos of people walking into things, walking off of cliffs. And all kinds of
Exactly.
stuff.
So,
Yeah.
my new genius idea is to have a reflector, a mirror, okay?
Yes.
That reflects the camera, so you can have your camera on up in the corner and keep an eye on where you're going while you're texting and walking.
Oh, so you don't have to look up.
No.
You just look at the...
Just look at your camera.
Wow. That's not the worst idea in the world.
What are you saying?
What
are you trying to say?
I would say this, Gary. And
Like, not the worst idea means there's some other ideas maybe that I've had that you found less than credible.
No, but no. I will say this, Gary. Of all your inventions, I mean this sincerely. I think this is by far your most recent. No, I mean it. I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm trying to be sincere and encouraging and nurturing.
Right. That's why I come here, because I can't handle conflict.
Right. Most people can't.
No, so that's why I come here,
Yes.
to be reassured.
Yes.
The only reason I ever show up on your show is reassurance.
Right.
Sometimes it doesn't work out that way.
Boy, it sure doesn't sometimes. Your last appearance on the show made it into the best of episode that aired on Saturday morning.
Oh, which one was that?
That was you and Mr. Hopwood.
Mr. Hopwood?
Having a theological discussion that where he did most of the talking. He was definitely the Sean Hannity to your Alan Combs, which is odd if you consider the ideology. But
right.
But he's very verbose.
Yes. I call it annoying. But... Because I like it when you can actually get a word in edgewise, but anyway.
But he was on your show once, on your television show, and he was...
cordial.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Depends on whether he's,
Well, he has... And I'm not telling tales out of school, because he talks about it all the time. He has CPTSD from his military experience.
There's too many frickin' letters in that.
He gets
There is
triggered.
way too many frickin' letters. You gotta
Well...
kind of... I mean...
It's a world of letters. It's...
usually people got letters because they're on the football team, but now it's...
Right.
People get all
Varsity
kinds
letter.
of damn letters.
Yeah, or you get letters after your name.
Oh, yeah.
To get like a cool degree in something.
Yeah, I got one before my name now.
You do?
Yeah, representative or honorable or all those.
Yeah. So do you write that on stuff, on official documents, honorable or representative?
Well, if I'm writing to somebody about a specific issue that... Because otherwise they don't know who it's from or what, it frames the argument.
Yes. No, it makes sense, yeah.
But I don't typically.
No.
I don't address myself that way.
Right.
Excuse me, that's honorable.
Yes.
But that's why I want to change my first name from Gary.
Really?
I want to change it to Doctor.
Why?
Well, because then I can be Dr. Gary, and people say, really? Yeah.
Well, so you wouldn't be you wouldn't be changing if you change your first name from Gary to Doctor. You wouldn't be Dr. Gary. You'd be Dr. Hopper.
Dr. Hopper, yeah.
Well, that actually sounds like
sounds relevant.
Almost sounds like a character on a television show.
It does, really.
Or
yeah.
Doc Hopper, an
Hopper.
old country doctor.
Sounds like I have a Stetson hat and a 6-gun.
It really
right?
does.
Yeah.
It really does. Doc Hopper.
I'm not offended by that. That's a good idea.
I like it. It's a great idea. I've often we would have these when I was your co-host on your show. We would talk about stuff like this. And I would always say, I don't know why we're not working in Hollywood.
I don't know either.
We have all these great ideas.
We have the best ideas, actually, Matt.
Yes.
You and I were like the best team
right
on TV ever.
Well, yes, clearly.
Certainly up there with Laurel and Hardy and Wilma and Fred.
Carson and McMahon.
And Wills.
No, that's about it, really. Those are
Three and Stooges.
All the teams, and we're better than all of them.
Yeah, we are.
Yes.
So that's my latest idea. I think I'm going to make $1 trillion on that easy.
Do you have a name for it?
No, that's what I'm lacking. I got to come up with a clever, catchy name, because that's all that counts. It doesn't matter if it works as long as it's got a good name.
That's true.
Right?
Right.
You know, it's like the what was this stone? The rocks, the people used to buy a damn rock, and it said the Worry Stones. Was that it?
Oh,
right. People just selling frickin' rocks, and people are buying them.
Yeah, it's not a Worry Stone though.
Something like that.
It's something like that. I can't remember either.
Yeah, they were buying rocks for a long time.
Yeah.
So the clever name is basically the only part of the invention that's relevant. What it does is secondary.
Well, that's true. What you need to do is get a contract with Apple, and then you can call it the I something. Because if you put, like the like the eye mirror or something like that. Because if you put I at the beginning of it, people will buy it.
Well, I could just call it that with EYE.
Yeah.
Eye reflector.
Right. Yeah, but you need the I. You need the letter I.
Yeah, but if I use EYE, I don't have to pay those jerks anything.
I know, but no one will be fooled. Not that you would be trying to fool anybody.
No, I would never do that.
This is all on the up and up.
Up and up, absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
You need a website.
And a website, right.
For it, yes. That'd be exciting. Actually, you need a website for all your inventions.
I do? That seems like a lot.
Yeah, how many inventions do you have?
I don't know. I lost track, actually.
Oh.
I mean, we had the super cool one, which was the...
What was the one with the gerbil? Boy, that sounded wrong. But you had an invention.
Well, actually, I actually had Victoria Sullivan on my show.
Yes.
And I came, because it was kind of along the same lines as the dirigible.
That's what I was thinking of.
Dirigible.
Yeah.
And because she was talking about the overcrowding, and the people are actually coming from Massachusetts and renting apartments in Manchester because it's so much cheaper than from Boston.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, Boston is brutal right now for housing.
So in other words, you got a gal with 2 kids trying to rent a place in Manchester, competing against some jerk from Boston, and it's just tough, right? So So I came up on my show last week. I says, what if we think outside the box, which is my favorite place to be, and have hot air apartments.
Oh, okay.
Right? Hot air balloons all over the city.
Right.
With raising the, just kind of float up around.
That's a good idea. I mean, it's...
Then if you find... Okay, so this is... Now she called it...
The view would be great.
The view would be great.
Yeah.
Except you'd be seeing all other hot air balloons after a while.
Yeah.
At first, it'd be great.
Yeah.
If you're the first one, you're going to have the greatest view of all.
You want to get in on the ground floor.
You would...
even though there's no...
I get it. There's no ground floor. Yeah. So anyway, Victoria said, you mean like elevated housing? We could call it elevated housing.
Yes.
See how that sounds like it's almost reasonable?
Right. Yes.
And she was saying, well, what if somebody's like dealing drugs? Just cut the cord.
Well, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
You find out this one dirigible is dealing drugs out of there. You just...
Right.
Next thing you know, they're in Iceland.
So is this part of her platform now?
I don't think she's adopted it 100%. I think she's got a team working on it.
Right.
Because for some reason she didn't, go all in on the great idea. But
yeah.
But the thing is, my genius, I think, has to. It takes a while for people because, and if you're surrounded by people who are lesser than you, you seem kind of insane. Really, genius is almost insanity to those who are. not so brilliant, really.
Right.
And I don't mean to demean everybody else.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly, but.
Yeah. I mean, I often used to sense that. Again, when I was your co-host, I would think I just can't. His genius. It's just it's beyond me.
It is. Yeah, I know.
It's like an elevated genius. It's like
right.
up in the balloon.
Oh, hey, seriously, you want to know something cool? I was listening to this professor. And she was talking about the problem with boys in today's society, and she pointed out this fact that if you look at the spectrum of intelligence, right?
Yeah.
At the high end of the spectrum, the genius level, it's occupied mostly by men.
Oh.
Okay?
Okay.
If you look at the moronic segment of the population, it is also occupied mostly by men. It's really kind of cool. So in other words, you've basically got that bell curve, and so women tend to fall right into like a restricted curve, whereas men tend to occupy the extremes also. It's kind of interesting. And I know some people who are like fill in both of those.
Oh, sure.
They're very, very brilliant and incredibly stupid at the same time.
That might be why, too, women so often seem more reasonable in some ways, because we're either stupid
we're way off.
We're either stupid or brilliant. I don't know why I was having trouble
both.
saying that. It's like I was stupid there for a second.
Yes.
I was trying to say we're either stupid or brilliant, and it came out we're. I may have just had a stroke, Gary. I'm not sure what happened. That would be ratings.
That would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you have to start Kivian.
Okay, right.
Yeah, you gotta, and I'd have to take over the show or something like that.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
Matt's down for the count. I don't know what to do. What buttons do I press?
Right.
Panic kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then ratings would go up.
Oh, yeah. That would be great.
Yeah, I'll do that for you.
Has that ever happened it never happened when I was your co-host, but has that anything like that ever happened on your show? Because you've had some very, very old people on.
I've had a lot of very old people on.
Because you have a lot of state reps.
I do. They are. And so, yeah, I mean, it's, I told you the joke I said years ago at the State House.
I don't remember.
It was, because I'll pretty much say anything, as long as it's not too offensive. I don't.
Yeah.
But it was, we were talking about medical marijuana. And I got up, and if people haven't seen it, you should go to the State House. If you haven't been to the State House, you should go to the State House. It's amazing. But anyway, up in Representatives Hall, there's, the 400 seats and the two podiums where you go up to speak. So I'm up at one of those podiums speaking on medical marijuana.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't want to speak to the other uses for medical marijuana, but I want to speak specifically to the glaucoma segment of it. And I have to tell you that after a lot of research and talking to my ophthalmologist, and the fact is the medication my ophthalmologist can provide for me now is more effective for the treatment of the pressure associated with glaucoma than marijuana is to treat it.
Mm-hmm.
I says, but there's a distinct advantage to using marijuana to treat glaucoma, and that is if you do go blind, you won't care.
Right.
Right? So I said that. And he
had to give you an air horn for the joke.
So it's so great because there's 400 people in there, and they're all like 70-ish, kind of. I don't know what the average is, but 60s anyway.
I heard Bob Backus once say, I think he said the median age is deceased.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Yeah.
So it was really great because half of them didn't get the joke.
Right.
And the other half were laughing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you get one half laughing, and the other one going, what?
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever heard, but on Sundays here on WMNH, they run these old-time radio shows.
Yeah.
And they're really fun to listen to, especially the ones that have old commercials in them and old news reports and everything. It's really cool. But there was this one, and I didn't catch what the name of the show was. It kind of sounded like Dragnet, but it wasn't Dragnet. But it's like these cops are investigating these teenagers, and it clearly was from probably the 1950s.
Right.
It was like way back. And these cops are investigating these teenagers, and for it turns out one of them is dealing marijuana, and just the drama around it, in the context of today, was just, it was unintentionally hilarious to me, just listening to.
Well, I love those old shows a lot because of that. They're so quaint, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, if you look back at what was the show? You know, like in the era of Bewitched and things like that.
Yeah.
Husbands and wives, like the Dick Van Dyke Show. Mm-hmm. They had separate beds, and they were not. If they laid in bed, they had to have one foot on the floor.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was never a implication of sex or anything else.
Right.
You know, children came by magic back in the 60s,
right.
you know?
Yeah.
And, but by the same token, it was a lot of good about it, too.
Mm.
You didn't have it wasn't encouraging perverted self-destructive behavior.
Yeah, I suppose. There was, when I was a kid, I would watch reruns of I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
And I remember asking my mom about this because I thought it was interesting. I think I Love Lucy was the show. Early episodes, and that was one of the shows I think that went from black and white to color during the series. Early episodes of the show, it was like that, just like Dick Van Dyke, where they're in separate beds. But then in later episodes, they're in the same bed. And I asked my mom about it, and she explained to me, well, you know, people started to get less uptight about it because they're a married couple. Why do you have them in separate beds? That's absurd. But I was always kind of fascinated about that within the show that kind of evolved, you know.
Well, by the same token, I say they don't encourage self-destructive behavior. That's not entirely true. Everybody smoked in those shows.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Everybody was drinking in the afternoon was like what you did. Everybody had cocktail parties.
That's true, yeah. Right after work, yeah. That's the first
everybody
thing.
had cocktail
That
parties.
was the first thing, yeah. Open up some alcohol and pour something. Yeah, you're right.
Smoke a cigarette.
And smoke
drink.
a cigarette, yeah.
You know, nothing could ever go bad in that environment.
Well, that reminds me. You know what else I heard yesterday while I was listening to those old shows? I heard an ad for Dr. Pepper.
Right.
And in the ad, the guy is saying something like, those other soft drinks have harmful ingredients and this and that, but Dr. Pepper is actually good for you. I'm not kidding. And it's like, it'll give your children plenty of energy and they'll then be able to burn off and I'm like, what?
Right.
It was so bizarre.
So caffeine and sugar are good for you now. Yeah.
But, you know, it was a different time.
It was a different time. You listen to all those ads. You listen to some of the Marlboro ads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, or like Lucky Strikes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's amazing, the stuff that they were encouraging, because by the time I was a teenager, everybody was smoking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you were a smoker, right?
Yeah.
I tried a cigarette once in high school just because I was curious about it, and I never did it again.
Hey, Matt.
Yes.
You've got a caller coming in 2 minutes.
Yes.
And I got to go pick up a grandson on the other side of town, so I'm going to take off.
Okay.
Don't anybody steal my idea before I have it patented.
Right.
You jerks.
Yes.
I hate your audience.
I know. Well, yes, they're very opportunistic.
Hey, remember to go vote tomorrow. Did you tell them to go vote?
Right. No, I didn't.
For my favorite Victoria Sullivan?
Okay.
I'm
going to vote for Glenn. I always vote for Glenn.
Glenn's a nice guy.
I
like Glenn.
Glenn R.J. Willett. I love Glenn. You know, we tease him a lot.
I do, too.
But we got him on the spot. Welcome back. I mean, he has no chance of winning. But all right. Oh, do you want to plug your show before you go?
Oh, that's 2 days from now. Rock, Paper. Oh, yeah.
I know, but you might as well plug it.
Me and Matt were the founders of Rock, Paper, Hand Grenades.
Ooh, we were the founding fathers of
fathers of Rock, Paper, Hand Grenades. We had a lot of fun.
We did.
We had some wicked cool shows.
Yes.
I still one of my favorites was that guy that was on there for the bed bugs.
Yeah.
He got so mad at me.
I know.
So we had this guy who's a entomologist.
Yeah.
So if everybody remembers Lord of the Rings, the Ents, the trees.
Yeah.
The Ents. So I started asking him near the end of the show. I started asking him Ent questions.
Yeah.
Like why wouldn't the little Ent get off the boat? Because I was afraid to. Wouldn't get on the boat because I was afraid to disembark. You know, all these stupid jokes that I made up about Ents. Yeah. And the guy got so mad.
Yeah.
It He was not having it.
He had no sense of humor.
Oh, it was great, though, because his reaction was so angry at just a silly joke.
Right.
I thought that was just super funny.
It was. Always a good time with the Honorable Gary S. Hopper. For our next clip this week, if you've been listening to the show for a long time, you know that Chris James, of course, has become a great friend of the show, comedian from Vancouver and host of Not Even a Show, which you can find on YouTube. And we have a really great time with Chris. And things didn't start off very positively with Chris when he first started prank calling the show. But then when he figured out that I'm not one of the, sort of right-wing talk show hosts that he likes to harass, and realized, too, that I actually enjoy prank calls. We started to get along, and we've become friends. And I've even been a guest on another show that he does on Twitch called No Prank Radio, and that was a great conversation. I really enjoyed being on there. And, I look forward to Chris's calls. But a couple of his rivals tried to call me this week. Well, I shouldn't say try. They did call. So the next pair of calls that you're going to hear, one of them is from the Prankaholics. Or maybe not the Prankaholics. I think it's just Prankaholics. And the other is from Please and Prank You. And they are rivals of Chris James and tried to get some personal information about Chris James out of me. But as you will hear in this clip, I did not waver. Oh, no. Anyway, here it is. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, this is Mike from Pittsburgh. What's up?
Mike from Pittsburgh. What's up with you?
Just hanging out today. That was a pretty good get for your show there. And did you say that Hopwood has a big?
No. Well, I may have.
Okay, well,
I may have alluded to
Matt,
it.
Are you friends with Chris James?
I do know Chris James. Yes, we've never met in person, but I'm a big fan, and he says very, very kind things about me as well.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I'm also friends with him. And he told me to call you and get his phone number, which I lost, even though he and I are very, very close friends.
Right. Oh, very, very close. So you've actually met in person.
Yeah. Can I get that number, though?
Now, what number is that?
Chris James's phone number.
Oh, well, see, if I give that to you on the air, everyone will have it. And then everyone will be calling Chris James, and it'll be my fault. And then he and I won't be friends anymore because he'll be mad at me. Well, he probably won't be that mad because he is Canadian, and Canadians are very nice.
Well, that's all well and good, Matt, but don't cross the Prankaholics, con man. Bye.
Bye-bye. That was wonderful. I very much enjoyed that. Yeah, you got these teams out there. You got the Prankaholics. You've got Please and Prank You. All of it. Yeah, Chris James, of course, from Not Even a Show, which you can find on YouTube. And I signed up on Patreon to be a patron so I can get the bonus content. And because Chris also does something called, only for members, it's called the Nothing More Show. And I was almost blushing at the most recent clip that he featured of this program in that show. It's very, very nice. Chris is a really nice guy. Which is funny because we started out very, very badly. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Yes. Hello, Matthew. This is Reginald calling in from Please and Prank You.
Oh, Reginald.
Play on words there.
Were your ears burning? I was just mentioning Please and Prank You, Reginald.
Well, what a happy coincidence, Matthew.
Yes.
Well, I was just calling in today to ask if I could get some personal details about my friend Chris James. See, we're a rival organization, and we're trying to get the upper hand here,
Right. What kind of personal details are you looking for? Now, keep in mind, Chris and I have never met in person, so I don't even know how tall the guy is. I've seen it, so I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'll try to help you out if I can.
Yeah, that's fine. Just anything phone number, middle name, phone number, address, phone number.
I don't know his middle name. Now, I do have a phone number for him.
What's his phone number?
Well, the thing is, as I explained to another gentleman, if I give it out on the air, everyone's going to be calling him, and it'll be my fault, and then I'll feel bad. I mean, literally everyone. Well, at least everyone who listens to the show. It might only be 3 people, but the point is, complete strangers are going to be calling him, and it'll be all because of me. I don't feel right about it.
Okay.
Is there
so
any...
to know on the phone number?
Not on the phone number. I mean, there might be other personal details I can share, but again, I've never even met him in person. I just know him.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, no problem. I understand that. Thank you for your time. I'm sorry for pranking you right now. Please and prank you. That's what we do.
I'm honored.
I'm probably going to lose my job. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Well, I feel badly about that. I don't want him to leave his job, and I do love the name Please and Prank You. I think it's wonderful. But, yes, I do have a phone number for Chris James, but I shan't be sharing it. I won't even give his number to John Claude Hopwood, even though John did tell Chris James live on the air that he loves him. He told him in French, but he did say, Chris James, I love you in French, and it was a very, very nice moment. It was one of those, honestly, it was the kind of moment where if it were at the end of a television sitcom from like the 1980s, it would be at the end of the show after all the conflict has been resolved, and then you would hear the live studio audience in unison go, it was that kind of moment. It was wonderful. And that's really what we're about here. We're about moments and bringing people together. And just as now look, I was incredibly tempted to give Chris James John Hopwood's phone number, but I resisted. But I shan't be giving anyone Chris's phone number either. It's just not... would not be in good form, So I have a funny feeling I'll be hearing more from the Prankaholics and Please and Prank You in the future. Just a hunch. But next on this week's Best of Matt Connarton Unleashed, I recently received another phone call. This one was scheduled from Rob Arnaudin of The Rob and Slim Show, which is a great podcast that you can find online and on Facebook. And they are having a lot of success. So many of you listening might already be familiar and fans of Rob and Slim, or you may have actually just discovered them recently after listening to the interview that I did with Rob on the show. But it's very, very funny. I definitely recommend checking out Rob and Slim. But and I'd interviewed Rob before a long time ago, back when Matt Connarton Unleashed was strictly an online weekly podcast before bringing the show to WMNH. But it was really great to catch up with him and to discuss the success that they've had. They're really building a large following, and their numbers on iTunes are phenomenal. They've come a long way, and they've worked hard. They've earned it. But anyway, here it is. In case you missed it the first time, and even if you heard it the first time, it's worth another listen. Always a great time. This is my conversation with Rob of Rob and Slim. Rob, is that you?
Yeah, Matt, how you doing?
Hey, good timing. Rob from Rob and Slim joins us. Welcome, sir. I'm going to give you a little air horn here. There we go. It's
nice.
It's FM radio, so I do corny things like that.
Yeah. I do all that stuff.
Yes.
I got a real one, and my air horn died a few weeks ago, so I bought a new one. The new one is too loud. It made me deaf when I tried it out. So I gotta find something that I could use.
Yes, indeed. So, Rob, I think I had you on the show once before, a long time ago, before I was here at WMNH. Am I right about that?
On your show?
Yeah.
I think so. Yes.
Because I think, yeah, okay. But a lot's happened since then. You guys have had a lot of success, and it's really grown.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I never thought. I never would have thought we hit the top 10 iTunes in the charts for improv last week. I was shocked.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. In the top 10. Now for improv, so that category on iTunes, is that for just any kind of show that's not scripted in any way, or because it seems like improv is kind of a broad category, I would guess, right?
They have the main categories, which we had picked when we first got it. What I picked when I first put us on there was comedy, and I guess within the past year they added subcategories, so you got to choose your own subcategory, and I can't remember what they all were. One was improv, I think one was interviews, and other ones too. And I picked improv, and I even I think just last week I was wondering, I'm should I change it? I'm did I pick the right one? And
no kidding.
Then I saw that we were We were number 9 in the U.S. one day, and then number 7 the next day. So I'm like, okay,
wow.
I guess I picked the right one.
You made the right choice. Yeah. No, that's fantastic. Wow. So tell us about, for the uninitiated, tell us about the show. What is the Rob and Slim Show exactly?
I think it's 4.5 hours of dark humor. We do news, we do skits. Definitely not safe for work. And then we do like 4 half-hour interviews with like actors, comedians, all sorts of people from everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. So for the ones that for the interviews that you do where it's this is something I've always been curious about, because some of the interviews that you do on the show, and this is one of the fun things about the show, some of the interviews, you're just doing them straight. You're very respectful. You've had me on the show, and you've had Brian Brody, I think, on 2 or 3 times, and and you just kind of do like a regular interview, but sometimes you do something a little bit different. and I'm always, which I love, and I'm always curious though, because that's my favorite part of the show. But I'm always curious, like, how do you decide? Like, do you know when you're booking these interviews already how you're going to play it,
Yeah, usually, because I do where I book us as fake shows. I go on a website and I book us as other shows, like Ron and Cheese, I think was one.
Ron and Cheese,
Frankie and the Driz and Mr. Ronald's Neighborhood, and that's just characters we do. So I book people to have on in our characters, like we do different characters, and yeah, just to mess with them. I do that completely separately. I'll create like a whole nother like email address for us, like Ron and Cheese at Yahoo or whatever. So I have like a whole different set of people that are reaching out to be on that show.
Yeah, yeah, I love Ron and Cheese, but how is it? How do you get away with that without them? Like, I suspect I know the answer, but I want to see what you say first. Do people just not bother to check out this, like, do the research and figure out that it's not a real show, that, like if it's Ron and Cheese or whatever, and they just don't figure it out until it's too late?
Yeah, pretty much. I book it as like we're just starting. We haven't done a show yet, but we want to do. I'm looking for my first guest type of thing.
Smart.
And if anyone asks or anything, like I will set up like a Facebook. I'll set up a fake Facebook page, and I'm like, that's all I have right now. We haven't done a show yet, so that's how I get away with it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've always wondered about that. No, that kind of makes sense. Yeah, I know too, just from booking guests over the years too, for this program and other shows that I've done, that sometimes people just don't bother to look into what they're getting into, which to me is very, very strange.
I had that early on, with people, and there have been people too, like where it's even a regular interview. If it can go wrong. Like it could be like I'll go at the person or whatever, or like sometimes I will book somebody even just for a regular interview, just to mock them, and I've had a few people complain about it later. I'm like, did you even listen to our show? Like it could have went either way. Like,
yeah. So is that's happened where you've started out doing a straight interview, but something goes sideways, and then you just kind of turn it into something else?
Yeah, there's been times where I booked a guest, like I usually do 2 pages of questions for each guest, and I've had like half a page where it's just like me mocking them, and half a page of like real questions, and like just that way I could feel out in the first few minutes which way the interview is going to go, whether I have to like dump on them or give them a real interview.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, have you had a lot of them that started out straight and then you had to kind of go to the other list? I mean, is that something that just happens?
Not usually. That's not usually the case. Just early on, when I used to use a certain website to book guests, there were a lot of duds.
Yeah.
But then as I've establish a show and all that, I usually reach out on Twitter. So usually an interview, I never intend to go that way anymore.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That must be kind of fun when it does. Yeah,
there's been a few like we've had on from like early on that were okay back then, but then we've had them on later and they've just been garbage. So we've just destroyed them.
Are you familiar with Phil Hendry, A radio guy named Phil Hendry?
I don't think so. I don't think I've heard of him.
I think he might be retired now because he's probably in his 70s. I ran across him about 10 years ago. Just he had a syndicated show, and he was kind of a big deal. But he does other things too, like acting and whatnot. So, but he had a show. He's on the West Coast, but he had a show that was syndicated, and there was a station here that would carry him late at night. But what Phil Hendry would do is, and I thought this was so clever, is he would do these interviews where he would have these characters, but he would start out the bit very kind of serious, and then gradually the guest he was interviewing, because he was doing all the voices himself. The guy's amazing. Because I saw a video of him doing it. I was like, oh my God, he's literally doing it all himself. But it would start out sounding like a real interview, and then gradually this guest would start saying really absurd things, to the point where by the end of it, it would be completely insane and hilarious. But
that's amazing.
Oh yeah, the guy, look him up if you get a chance. Hendry, it's Hendrie, Phil Hendry. He will blow your mind. I mean, he's just brilliant.
Bill, B-I-L-L?
No, Phil, P-H-I-L, Phil Hendry.
P-H-I-L.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, brilliant guy.
Awesome.
But I think he may be retired.
Yeah.
So usually have. Do you try to do one of those every week where it's where it's not a real?
I do every now and then, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Our last one we were doing was Mr. Ron's Neighborhood, which Slambo on our show does the voice of Ron.
Yeah.
And he is gone right now. He's going to school, so like half of our season he doesn't do with us. So right now I haven't been booking one. And with regular interviews, I'm booked till like the end of October. So maybe like beginning of November, I'll like come up with a new one to have on.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, hello to AJ Davis in the Facebook live chat. Who was the candidate that Slambo debated? There was
a bunch, and there is a few shows on our like Podbean, and if you look us up on iTunes anywhere, there's a couple shows from years ago called Lamborghini. I think it's Lamborghini 2016 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
He debated. I used to book every week presidential candidate for him to debate, but the first one he did was Vermin Supreme.
Oh yeah, I love Vermin Supreme. Yeah, he's been on this show.
He was awesome.
He's great.
Yeah, but then I got some guy from the Socialist Party, some guy from like the Prohibition Party. I got all different. I got this one guy who was like a hobo basically running, and he hated us. He hated us.
I remember that. I remember listening to that. It was fantastic.
And I think next year is the presidential candidacy again, right?
Yeah. Well, yes. So we get in January, of course, we'll have the New Hampshire primary, and then so that's when the primaries begin, and then and then next year's the election. Yeah. So hopefully,
I'm trying to think when he'll be back. He's not going to be back till like Flambo is not going to be back till like the spring, and then that's all he's there for. And then when we come back in like September, he's gone. So I don't even think we're going to do that. We won't be able to do that next year.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's too bad. No, I like the. I love the Lamborghini character. Did he do that from the beginning? Has that always been a thing?
That was season 1, and it was just during a regular show. He just started. I came up with it was from Ron and Fez years ago. They did. They would do a power hour called Slam Time. So I brought that to the show, and Lamborghini Pete was doing the Slam Time. So every minute somebody would yell Slam Time, and Pete would have to do the shot of beer or vodka or whatever it was. Yeah. And so by probably like middle of the show, he was just belligerent. He starts screaming at all of us. He gets up. He's trying to go to the bathroom, and he slaps the wall, and his hand went right through the sheetrock, like a huge hole in the sheetrock.
Oh, my God. Wow.
And so from then on, I called him the Lamborghini because he was doing Slam Time, and he just slammed a hole in the wall, and he's been Lamborghini ever since.
Oh, wow. Well, hello to... sorry, go ahead.
No, he's like borderline, like, crazy when he gets that drunk. He'll like start screaming at us, like getting in our face. He always wants to fight Slim. He's nuts.
Oh, jeez. Wow. Hello to Yasmin Haji in the Facebook live chat. And Ricky Litwinkowicz says, just popping in to say hello. You guys have a great day. Do you know Ricky from Pain Train Pipe Bomb?
What's the show?
Pain Train Pipe Bomb. I was trying to think
It does not ring a bell.
Okay, because we've met a few people through you. I was trying to remember if Ricky was one of them. But so how long have you been doing Rob and Slim now?
Oh, this is our sixth season. It's been a while.
Yeah. Jeez.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it's been this long. Every now and then I'm like, are we doing it right? Are people bored? But we obviously keep getting bigger and bigger. So
yeah, definitely. And then, so who are your? You mentioned Ron and Fez. I was a big Ron and Fez fan as well. I used to love. You know how I got interested in Ron and Fez? I was looking at a radio newsletter or trade magazine that was at another station I was doing some stuff at. And there was an article in it titled "The Trouble with Ron and Fez," and it was talking about Fez. And if anyone wants to check this out, if you go on YouTube and just type in Ron and Fez, it's very, very easy to find the show. There's like a million YouTube clips. But the article talked about Fez, how Fez was basically going through this sort of slow motion nervous breakdown on the air, and how it was real. And it was like totally legit and whatnot. And
it was over like at least a year. Yeah, he wouldn't even talk. Sometimes you wouldn't even know. You would think he wasn't even there that day.
Mm-hmm.
And he would say like one word toward the end of the show, and it was like, holy crap, he's been there the whole time and just has not said a word.
Oh yeah. I got completely addicted and fascinated by Ron and Fez for that reason. And Fez, before he started having his issues, and even in instances when he started having his issues, but Fez was he's retired now, but he was brilliantly funny. And Ron Bennington,
he killed it. The thing that was good was that like when he was in his going through that, other guys like Black Girl and Eastside Dave, they came to the plate and they would take the mic, So that was cool.
Oh yeah. And Ron Bennington is brilliant, but
totally. He's my favorite. He's my favorite in all radio.
Oh yeah. He's fantastic. But now, what was it? You or was it Slim who interned for? Didn't one of you guys intern for Opie and Anthony at one point?
They wanted me to. I interviewed with them, and
that's right.
They wanted me to, but I lived down here at the time, which is like 2 hours. 2 hours from New York. I just could not afford to commute, and I couldn't find anyone up there to like crash with, so I just didn't take it. But yeah, I did. I interviewed with Steve C, who was deceased, but yeah, he was still there at the time, and I interviewed with him and at least one other person. But he was really impressed with me, and he really wanted me to intern, but I couldn't afford, like I said, the commute every day.
Oh yeah.
Killed me.
Oh yeah. That would have been very hard. That's cool though that you got to. What was the interview? I assume it was a Sirius XM, right?
It was just with them. But the thing was too, like, I don't know. Do you remember when they broadcast on FM and XM?
Oh yeah, and they would do the walkover in between.
The walkover. So that's okay. So from my interview, I knew where the building was. And my one friend at the time was home on leave from Iraq, and he wanted to go up for the walkover because I got him into Opie and Anthony. So we leave to go up there, and we missed the walkover. But I remembered where the building was, so I'm like, let's just go. Let's just see if we could just meet the guys for a second. And I remembered from my interview that while they're broadcasting outside of their studio, they have speakers so you could hear the show. So I was like, all right. So what I did was I knew where the building was. So I signed in at the front desk and just got on the elevator and went up there. I knocked on the door, and Master Poe answered. And Master Poe, I don't know if you remember him. He's nothing but business. But I'm like, look, I'm just trying to see if like maybe we could sit in the lounge and listen to the show because we came up for the walkover. My buddy's home from Iraq, and we missed it. We would just be able to sit there. So like he goes in, and a minute later he comes out. And he's like, yeah, come in. And he searched us to make sure we didn't have weapons on us. And then we got to sit there on the couches, and it was amazing. It was amazing. We were cracking up, and they knew we were there. Like, every now and then, it was Jimmy, Opie and Anthony. They would look over. And the crazy thing is, after, like, not long after that, they started having the live audience where they put the bleachers in there, and they had, like, live people out. So I don't know if we started that, but like I said, it wasn't long after that we did that and sat there for the whole show laughing that they started having people, like a live audience type of thing.
Interesting, yeah. That didn't last long, though, did it? The live audience.
The XM, the walkover thing? No, the FM. They couldn't. Even, I think Howard at the time, he had left. He had just left, and he told them, he's like, look, if you could do anything with terrestrial radio, God bless you. And they hated each other. He's like, if you could do it, if you could make it work, you know, that's great, but I couldn't make it work.
Right. right. Now, have you followed the whole Opie and Anthony saga? I mean, I assume you have, right? You know, through the
somewhat
through the
them Anthony getting fired. I knew about that, and them just Opie like losing his mind. That was craziness, and that's pretty much the last. I've never really listened to either of them, even Jimmy and Sam. I haven't listened to any of their shows, but they just fell apart. Totally fell apart.
So you've never listened to Opie's podcast?
I heard it's rough. I heard it's really rough. I think he like sits in a diner with just some random guy.
Oh, it's so
garbage.
It's so bad. It's so bad. And they already fired him. Westwood won.
Really?
Yeah, Westwood won. They had him for a year, and he's already gone. And
wow.
And then I was because every once in a while I'll check out a clip from the Anthony Cumia show. And
that I heard is good. That I heard is doing good.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, you know, it's Anthony. Yeah. I think Anthony's shtick actually gets a little old.
That's another thing. Like, them together was magic. It was magic. You know, no matter what you think. It's kind of just like when me and Slim get together. Like, it's just happens. You're on, and like separately, I don't know what it would be, but
yeah.
I always remember back then too. Like, a day Opie wasn't there. It was just. It was kind of lame.
Right.
Or a day Anthony wasn't there because they both added things perfectly.
Yeah. They needed each other. And I mean, I guess Anthony kind of had the last laugh because now he's got his own, you know, he's got Compound Media and everything. And I guess it's
okay. He's doing all right.
Although their website is horrific. But I don't know if you've ever looked at it, but it's pretty.
I was drinking coffee. I'm starting to choke.
It's you know, it's very. I mean, the Compound Media site would be really good if it were like 1998. But
still on Pow Talk.
It's bad. But I mean, you know, he's rich, and I'm sitting here, so what do I know? You know,
exactly.
What do I know? I can make my comments, but in the end, I mean, you know, he's Anthony Cumia and I'm me, so, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But, so,
I don't know. I've never, like I said, once, kind of like when Ron Says left, I canceled my Sirius XM, and I never really listened. I never even listened to the end of O&A before they split. So, like, I just been out for a while with them.
You've heard the arguments, though, right?
Yeah.
On YouTube.
Gnarly stuff.
Oh, yeah. Now, have you and Slim ever had anything like that happen on the air during your show, like between the two of you?
Never on the show, but early on, a lot of off-the-show stuff. There was one time, because we used to work together, and I think he called, like, I was trying to get him to do something, and he didn't want to do it because he was, like, embarrassed. And I would bug him, like, every time I saw him at work about it. And I saw him on break, and I said it again. He's like, "That's not even original. You're a hack." I got so mad. I picked up a chair in the break room and threw it at him.
Wow.
And just was screaming at him. And, like, one of my buddies was like, I couldn't even make out the words. He was like, "You were just growling." That was not even, like, that wasn't even words.
Wow.
So, yeah, and we almost stopped because, like, I got home that day, and I was just cooling off, and I was going to message him, you know, like, later, and all of a sudden, he started messaging me, and he's like, "Look, I'm really sorry. It's not a hack idea. I just didn't want to do it, and I'd be, you know, whatever." So, and he's like, "Look, I forget how he said it. He's like, I think he even offered to find someone else because I don't do any of the recording and producing and all that. He does all that like recording stuff. So
yeah.
He's like, I'll find somebody else to do it for you. Like he thought I didn't want to do the show with him anymore, but I'm like, no, dude. Like I want to do the show. Just I don't want to hear. I don't want you to come at me if like on that level when it's something like that. Like that is something that will insult me. If it's something I've worked on and somebody calls me like a hack or whatever, I'll get nutty.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. Wow. And wasn't there something, too, about, like, his cousin was involved or something? And
Yeah, that was before too, yeah. Before we did Rob and Slim, his cousin would do the show with us, and it was called the RBJ Show, and he was just a dud. And I think a couple things he said were just really racist. So I'm like... And I would come up with like bits for him to do, and he would never do them. One of them was like doing the entire show in a body bag, and then like halfway through, I guess he got too hot and he was all like sweaty, so he took the body bag off, and he couldn't even do that. He couldn't even sit there in a body bag. So I'm like, you got to get rid of your cousin. He sucks. And I think it was like a week later. I'm like, dude, do you want me to message him and tell him to not come anymore? And he goes, I already did. He goes, I fired my cousin. I'm like, awesome, dude.
Wow. So what? And what was their?
We've had that. We've had that over the years too, with like even just like third or fourth mics. Just live guests. I've cut them off. Like I don't know. Over the years, a lot of it's like they never have anything new to offer. It's like I don't know. They just don't get it, or they get old, or they get like a lot of times the live guests. They come in too many times and they just get too comfortable. And then they start like insulting our guests and stuff like that, and it's just not cool with me.
Yeah. So, what was Slim's relationship with his cousin like after that?
They're still buddies. They still like work out together every week and stuff. So I guess he knew he sucked.
Yeah. Well, plus he obviously he wasn't that committed to it anyway. It couldn't have been that important to him if he couldn't, sit there in a body bag for the entire show.
It is something too where like you kind of have to get it and be good at it, or like it's never gonna work. Like it's never gonna work. Even Slambo is just kind of I don't know. I like what he offers, but he's kind of repetitive sometimes. So it's like I don't know with the guy.
Yeah.
I might be cutting Slambo.
Oh no. So
no, he does. What I do like about Slambo, though, he will do anything I tell him.
Yes.
Anything. If I tell him to get in a bathtub and just rub stuff on himself, he'll do that.
Yeah.
Or like fight Slim in the backyard, he'll do that. So like that's one thing where Slambo always has good.
Yeah. No, I've noticed that. Yeah. But so when he's not there, is it sometimes just the two of you, or do you have other people come in?
Yeah. No, we just do us. We just do me and Slim and. At first, I think I was at last season. One of the seasons we were like a little worried at first, but it's fine. It's great.
Yeah.
We don't have any problems doing it just with us.
Right.
There.
Yeah. No, that's great. Well, Rob, we're getting close to the top of the hour, so we'll let you go in a moment. You've been very generous with your time, but please, let everybody know, of course, where they can find Rob and Slim, obviously on the the usual podcasting sites and whatnot, and anything you want us to know. Of course, you got a show 2 days from now, so maybe I don't know if you want to tell us about what you got coming up this week and whatnot too while we're at it.
Yeah, I have an animator, Hunter Hancock. I think he goes by the name Meat Canyon. I have an interview with him. I have a celebrity chef, Jerome Benson. He's coming on. I got adult transgendered adult film star, transgendered. Her name is Raven Rocks. She's coming on, and I got a couple guys that do a podcast. They'll be on too. And I do a weekly skit, and I don't know if I can say the name of it on here, but it's going to be one of the most offensive dark humor ones I've ever done. I've told a couple people, and they're like, "No, I'm not down with that. I can't even be on this episode."
Really?
So,
it's that bad?
It's going to be rough.
It's I'm curious now. Is it that bad?
This is our TMR, and it's too many something. I can't. I don't know if I can say it on terrestrial radio. I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but it's too many somethings. Yeah. And this is going to be a rough episode. I don't even want to mention it because I don't want to give any spoilers away. But just tune in. That'll be I think about 6:30 or 6:45. p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll do that skit. But the show starts at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do it live on a couple different places, Facebook, and if you just search Rob and Slim on Facebook and any of the podcast, sites that have, the apps, Podbean, iTunes, all that. And on Twitter, we're at Rob and Slim Show.
Yes. All right. Well, this has been a lot of fun. We got to do this more often. It's been too long. I didn't realize until we had talked about having you on this week. And then I was thinking about it. I was like, wow, that was a long time ago. when I had you on the show before.
It's been a while. But I have come on the other show, too, that you and Brian were doing.
Right,
I was on that show, I think.
Oh yeah,
a couple times.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the future is of that. We'll see, but we'll have to do this more often here. Rob, thank you so much, my friend. It is wonderful to talk to you.
Thanks for having me, Matt. It was a great time.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
You too, man.
Okay. Bye. All right, that was Rob Arnaudin. I'm never sure if I'm saying his last name correctly. From Rob and Slim, and very, very funny show. Be sure to check it out, and they will be live on the Facebook via Facebook Live, just like this show is one of the ways you can hear and or watch this program. So you can look for that live on Wednesday, and of course, if you want to grab it later, it's on all the podcasting sites. And part of the reason why he and I were talking about having him on this week is, he had sent me something about how, they're now in the top 10 in the improv category on iTunes. And I was like, dude, that's really cool. Because those guys have worked hard. They've been at it for, like he said, about 6 years now. And the show's a lot of fun. It's very funny. Definitely not safe for work. And but it's a great show. And it kind of, I won't say, you know what? Find out for yourself. You'll know what I mean if you listen to it, and you'll figure out very easily, very quickly if you listen to it or watch it, whether it's within your comfort zone. But I think but it's very difficult to offend me, so I think it's hilarious. You're listening to the best of Matt Connarton Unleashed from the studios of WMNH 95.3 in Manchester, New Hampshire. Next on the show, we have a clip of a recent. Well, not really recent anymore. It's been more than a year. I don't know. How long is recent? We have a clip of an alumni of WMNH, former WMNH radio personality and former co-host on The Morning Show. Of course, The Morning Show with Peter White, which you can hear weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. with a replay from 2 to 4 p.m. on WMNH. But Joel the Moose Elber used to be Peter's co-host until they had a bit of an on-air falling out, so to speak. But anyway, Joel actually, along with John Claude Hopwood, Joel called into the show to make a stunning announcement about his future. And I genuinely was not expecting this. I wasn't expecting the call, and I wasn't expecting his announcement either. But here it is. This is the Moose. And his, with a little bit of John Hopwood, but the Moose with his recent call into Matt Connarton Unleashed. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hi, it's John Claude Hopwood from the Battlefield.
John Claude Hopwood, yes, I voted for you today, sir. And then I ate a donut.
Hey, I got somebody that would like to say hi.
Okay.
Hold on. It's Matt Covington.
Hey, Matt.
Is that Joel the Moose Elber?
That is Joel the Moose Elber. How the hell are you?
I'm doing well. How are you? Are you helping John Claude campaign at the last minute or bringing the votes?
No, we've been campaigning in Ward 10, and now we just got to Ward 11 for a little while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm with Mayor Craig and Norm Gamache.
Yeah.
Are we on the air right now?
You are on the air live on WMNH 95.3. Can't say it's your debut, 95. But a station.
Good. How's things going?
A station you know very well. No, things are good. Yeah, we miss you around here. You got to come in sometime.
Yeah, I watch your show once in a while, and and no doubt you do a great job.
Well, thank you, Joel. I appreciate that. Now,
Yeah, you do it.
Now, I have to ask you, though, now you being out there making the rounds with John Hopwood and hanging out with the mayor and stuff, is this it? Are you thinking about throwing your hat back into the ring and getting back into politics?
Well, I'm definitely getting back into the politics, but unfortunately, it's not going to be Manchester because I don't live in the city anymore.
Right. You're up in Concordiansville, as my grandfather used to call it when I was a young urchin.
Yeah, so next year will be my turn run for state rep, and who knows? So we'll just take it one step at a time. So you're making
your announcement live on Matt Connarton Unleashed that you're going to be running for state rep from Concord?
That is correct.
Wow.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
I'll be damned.
So
I mean that's this is amazing.
I'm really happy to announce that on your show.
Well, that's wonderful. What a nice surprise. Well, Joel, I hope you win. We need you up there. Or Concord.
Well,
somebody
I'll
needs
do what I do best. I'll knock on doors, get the signs ready, and I'll be all set to go by next year at some point.
Right. Oh, that's fantastic. Good for you. What made you decide to get back in? Because I thought you were done with politics. What made you?
No, you know what? But, I miss the politics. I miss knocking on doors and shaking people's hands at the polls and getting up at 5 o'clock and put my suit on and my best tie. Go out and meet the people as they vote. And when I get there at 6, when the polls open at 6, man, I wave to everybody. I don't care if it's a Republican or independent or whatever.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter to me. I say hi to everybody.
Right. Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah. All right, I'll give you back to John.
All right, Joel. Thank you. Good to talk to you.
Joel, ask the room whether the union leader endorsed for Glenn R.J.
Oh, I heard that the union leader endorsed R.J. Glenn Olet. Is that a true statement?
I think so, yes. I think they finally got on board the Glenn train, and I did vote for him as well, which I think will probably put him over the top. I think he'll probably be the next mayor. So you can apologize to Mayor Craig since she's there, but on my behalf. But yes, I believe my ballot is what put Glenn R.J. Willett over. Well, I mean, of course, it's just a primary, but anyway, yes.
Well, hey, you never know where that one vote is going to take them.
That's right, exactly.
And like you said, your vote could put him over the edge.
Put him right over the edge. He's been on the edge a long time. All right, Joel.
A Trump supporter nearly put me over the edge in Ward 10.
Oh no! What happened? Did you have an altercation? Did you have fisticuffs?
No, some guy came. Isn't it nice of Joel to come to the city to help out Joyce Craig and Bill Barry, and we're having Norm Gamache here in 11, and we were having a good time. And some guy comes by in a Trump shirt, goes in, votes, comes out, and made a negative gesture.
Oh, no.
Then he turns around and yells, it's just crazy, Matt, Democrat. What have you ever done for freedom or liberty? So I said some unfortunate words about the 4F and chief being a veteran.
Yeah.
But, Joel being here calmed me down, and so we both Ward 10.
Yes. Well, I went and voted earlier, and I saw this bus pull up with a license plate from another state, and I saw all these undocumented immigrants get off the bus and go in and vote for Democrats. I couldn't believe it, but I was so flummoxed. Just like my Republican friends, I couldn't remember to pull out my phone and take pictures or video of it happening. So you'll have to take my word for it. But, the voter fraud is incredible. And they all voted for Glenn.
I thought they came to vote for Victoria Sullivan. So the president sent them up.
No, Republicans don't do that. How dare you?
Well, Joel and I are going back to waving the flag here, and we're going to stay out of trouble. We're just going to stay in the background. I'll send you a picture of the illustrious, honorable Joel Elber.
Yes.
He's luxuriating in the sunshine now.
And he made his big campaign announcement live right here on Matt Connarton Unleashed. I can't believe it.
Oh, isn't that amazing?
That is.
That his career is
truly a
jump
surprise.
Started on Matt Covington and the After Lunch.
Yes, something like that. Yes, a facsimile thereof.
What beautiful sunshine, huh? Beautiful sunshine. It must be Mayor Craig has brought the sunshine with him from Ward down.
Oh my goodness. Well, all right, John.
Everybody out in Manchester that listen to the match, so come on and vote. You still got a few more hours. Polls closes at 7 p.m.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Joel.
All right, Matt. All right. So great show as usual, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, Joel. Thanks, John.
Okay, wait a minute. Here's John.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
All right.
Don't forget to vote early and often. Bye.
Yes. Bye-bye. All right. Yes. Early and often. That's how they used to do it. That's how you used to have to vote for Mayor Daley back in Chicago. John Heichel says, I heard my name, then lost the signal. How's it going? It's going wonderful. Sir John F. Heichel, you're always welcome here on the show. As you know, we always have a good time. Hello to the Honorable Heidi Hamer, who joins us in the Facebook Live chat, as well as Roy Taylor, who says, I'm going to have to self-edit this. Actually, I'm not even going to read it and self-edit the comment from Roy Taylor. I'm just going to sort of characterize it. Let's just say that this gentleman, Roy Taylor, feels that John Hopwood is an impressive individual physically, shall we say, if you know what I mean. I don't know how Roy Taylor knows that about John Claude Hopwood, but I think that's wonderful. And it's probably one of the nicest things anyone has said about John recently. So I think that's great. Always nice to hear from the Moose, and genuinely, I was very surprised by his announcement, but he is getting back into politics. Next, as I teased at the top of the show, we're going to go back in time for some classic clips from Matt Connarton Unleashed as we continue with this week's Best Of. And by classic, I mean from about 4 months ago. But, yeah, we're going to go back to, we like to talk a lot on the show, and we get calls from Father Bruno Sarducci, of course, nephew of Father Guido Sarducci, all the way from the Vatican. He likes to call, and he likes to complain about Peter White. But I think we're going to go back. Yeah, this was about 4 months ago, the first time that Father Bruno called and confronted Peter White live on the air while Peter was sitting in on my show. Very, very exciting. So here it is. This is great.
Yes, Matt. This is Father Bruno.
Father Bruno Sarducci. How are you, Father?
Yes, I'm listening to your show. It's a good show, but there's a little too much talk about crying,
Ah, yes.
You don't want to have no crybaby on your show.
Well, no, but someone said that, I didn't cry. And I kind of said, Stefan cries all the time, he said. And I kind of, I didn't want him to take offense to that. That's all.
Right. But what's wrong with that? Does the Lord not like crying, Father?
Well, it's not the manly, I'm a viewer of Fox News.
Yes.
And this is the news program for the manly people who supported Donald Trump and who believe in God. And I got a feeling the Peter White guy, he's not a believer.
Oh.
I don't think he's a Catholic. White, it doesn't sound a Catholic to me.
Well, no, I was raised Catholic. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you were?
Oh, yeah. Went to CCD, did it all.
Oh, very good. See, Father?
And did you cry a lot when you were a kid in Catholic school? Did you go to Catholic school?
No, I used to go to CCD, which was once a week on Mondays after school was done. We'd go to St. Joe's over here and, for another great hour and a half, talk about Jesus.
Well, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with talking about a Jesus?
Oh, there's nothing wrong with it. That's what we used to do. I was just explaining it.
Right.
Yeah. You were being a little sarcastic.
I was not being
I've
sarcastic.
heard people like you before. This is why I don't trust you.
I was not being sarcastic.
Peter White.
I was not
I
being
don't trust you. You mock a God.
I do not.
Yeah.
Is there a
well,
God?
that's what you say now, but I heard a little bit of sarcasm in your voice, and now you're trying to clean it up. I'm watching this show. I'm hearing a lot of chit chat. Normally, when I watch this show, I want substance.
Right.
I don't like the Peter White chit chat about the people who used to be on the show, which nobody watches anyway.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Yeah. So this is, I'm trying to call you. I'm trying to guide you, Matt.
Yes.
I know you are a good Catholic, or you want to be, and somehow you strayed away from the flock. I don't know why.
I did, yes. I certainly did, yes.
But you need to be around a good Catholic people that do not mock God or make some sarcastic joke about Jesus.
Well, maybe
like a Peter White.
Maybe there's an opportunity here, Father. Maybe Peter, I mean, would you be willing to maybe do a confession while we have Father Bruno on the phone?
Well, I actually left the Catholic Church, and I never made I was never confirmed, so I never finished. So I will say that
I never was either confirmed, actually.
Yeah, well, I knew you were not a good Catholic.
Well, I was
Peter
pulled
White.
out
I knew
of there.
that in my heart. I could see it, and I have listened enough to you now to know that you're not a godly person. Maybe you are godless commie scum. Maybe you like the Bolsheviks.
Oh, my parents.
Maybe you want to vote for Bernie Sanders, a communista.
No, my parents pulled me out because there was a creepy priest. Is that
for real?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, now you go too far.
That's right.
Now you go too far. Spreading the lie about a Catholic Church. It's a made-up story. It's news, and you're spreading it. This is what I mean, Matt. You got to get this guy off of your show.
He was a creep.
He's making a trouble. He's making a trouble for the church. There's so many like him. They're the Antichrist.
Oh, well, that's going a little far, isn't it, Father? I think he just...
I don't think you can go far when you're dealing with Satan. He's Satan's nephew. I can see it.
He's
right.
Satan's nephew. My goodness.
Jeez, maybe I can get in DEF CON.
Oh, very exciting. I don't know.
Yeah, see, this is all a big happy joke for Peter White, because he don't respect anything.
Hey,
But, I'm just calling you. You got to watch it. People are judged by the company they keep.
Right.
You know that.
I know,
and Jesus, he was always around the good people except for one. Yeah. Peter White. That would have been Peter White if he lived 2,000 years ago.
So 2,000 years ago, Peter White would have been Judas, is what you're saying.
Oh, come on now.
Of course, it's true. He knows it. He walked away from the church. He admits it.
See?
It's so very sad. Both of you need to tune in to Fox News. You need to watch Sean Hannity. He's going to tell you the truth. You probably watch the other shows. You're probably watching, CNN, the Communist News Network, or you're watching, Rachel Maddow, not a Catholic.
She's a lesbian.
You're not going to get that good news from her. And you got to get with the program. Donald Trump. He's a guy. He's not as big as the Pope, but he's close. He's almost as good as the Pope.
He is infallible.
And he's going to give you good information.
Right. Yes. Well, that's wonderful. But I do object, Father Bruno, to your comment about Peter being the nephew of Satan. Peter's not even cloven hooved. I don't think there's any lineage there.
Yes. You have to actually be very, very careful when you are dealing with people that are pretending, people that mock the church, people that say sarcastic things about Jesus Christ, who is our personal Savior and who will save the world along with Donald Trump.
I look forward to that.
Wow.
Actually,
Donald Trump and Jesus, they're like the same person. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they're very close. I mean, they're not literally
they're very
the same.
close. They're very close. They're both leaders. They're both strong. They're both powerful.
Yes.
And they always tell the truth. Just like Fox News and Sean Hannity. You want the truth, you tune in to Sean Hannity or some of the other people, but Sean Hannity, he's my favorite.
Oh, what is it that you like so much about Sean Hannity?
Well, he speaks, on every day with Donald Trump.
Right.
they're running things in the United States. Trump he's a good person, I mean, there's this new tariff on China. China is a threat. You got to understand this is a threat.
Right. Yes. Well, clearly.
Yeah. What has China ever done for the Vatican? Nothing. We couldn't get any penetration into that country.
Right.
Because of the communistas run it. It's godless commie scum running that country.
That's true. Yes. No penetration into China from the Vatican. I understand.
Yeah, but listen, I got to go now. I got to go. I'm practicing another song, and I'm going to come on. When I get this song down.
Yes.
It's a really good song, and it's about love,
Oh. Love, yeah. Love for Jesus, or love for Fox News, or love for what?
Well, it all comes down to love of Jesus Christ,
well, yes.
Our personal Savior and our model for good behavior.
Yes.
Not that, Peter White pays any attention to that. This guy is
I was off the hook
coming to a different song. He's admitted it. He's not a Catholica.
Right. I left because of a creepy priest.
There you go again. One day I'm going to come into that studio, Peter White, and I'm going to yank your tongue out.
Right.
Oh, my goodness.
See,
wow.
that's why they took me out of the church.
Yank your lying tongue out. You slander the church. You think it's a good idea. You think you're being funny because you're some kind of crazy shock jock on American radio. But we broadcast from the Vatican, and we have the Word here. And the Word, according to Peter White, I'm not going to listen to that.
Oh, okay, then.
Okay, that's all I got to say. I'm leaving now. Goodbye.
All right. Goodbye, Father.
Man.
Father Bruno Sarducci, boy, did he give you a tongue lashing and threaten to rip out your tongue. My goodness.
Right.
Jeez, boy.
Well, stay away from him.
Well, he's, it's easy to stay away from him.
That's why my parents took me out of the,
Yeah. I mean, he's at the Vatican. So that's for real? That's why your parents took you out?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. It was, because, when you make when you make a confirmation.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you make a confirmation, you have to do some community service.
Okay.
So me and a bunch of guys from class, Jeff, my friend Jeff, and whatever, and we did landscaping up at a church in the city.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm digging this whole thing or whatever. I'll make this quick.
Yeah.
And this guy is like swearing and stuff like that. He's a priest and he's swearing, trying to be cool with the kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Finally, I went home and I told my mom, and this guy started calling my house, wanting to oh, yeah, come on down to Boston and pick up a priest friend with me. And I was like, no, dude, I'm not going down to Boston with you.
Yeah.
And finally, he wouldn't leave it alone, so I told my mom and I gave it to her.
Oh.
Because I was a smart enough kid not to know, hey, buddy,
Yeah. Wow.
And, that was it for me.
Wow, no kidding. And we have another call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, Matt, how are you?
Good. Who's this?
Good. My name's Sam. I tuned in today expecting to see John Hopwood, and instead it looks like you've gone on John Herpwood.
John Herpwood? Well, we do have virtual John Hopwood here.
Jesus, buddy.
Got virtual John Hopwood? Where's he at?
Well, you can't actually see him.
I mean, it's not funny. It's nothing.
But virtual John Hopwood is always with us. And even when he's not, here in the computer, he's in our hearts.
This is true.
Yes. So I haven't heard from the real John Hopwood today. I don't know where he is. Oh, he hung up, I think.
Wow.
My goodness. But the Herpwood thing, I think that was a callback to an earlier discussion.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
We've covered it all today.
We really have.
But so anyway, that story was a true story, and I never went on to make my confirmation. And that was it.
Wow.
I've been to church since, though.
Okay.
With my grandmother on Easter or whatever. I still did that stuff.
Yeah. But so...
Some people, I don't know. Hey.
So your parents are pulling you out of that. I mean, because it's kind of like they... not that I'm... It's almost like throwing the baby out with the bathwater to just, pull you out, but then not, try to figure out something else to keep you
focused on that. Well, you know what? It's like one of those things. I mean, you don't have a big relationship with the church like you used to, right? Did you ever have one?
When I was growing up, I did, yeah.
Right.
I went to a Catholic school from grade 2 to grade 8, St. John's.
And every Sunday church?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. See, I didn't have to do any of that. But So we weren't like really. We'd go with my grandparents, and like I said, I went to CCD, but I don't know. It was kind of the thing that was kind of going away, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't like the 1950s.
Yeah.
Or, you know.
So they weren't all in.
No, I would say no. My mother probably stuck me in there because of my grandmother. Said, "Oh, you better put him in the CCD."
That happens a lot. That generational thing.
Yeah,
that happens a lot.
And it was no big deal. We didn't, my mother was gonna. I think my mother called and complained.
Yeah,
and didn't like the results. She so she goes, "That's it."
Yeah. No, because I've heard so many people from our generation, and you probably have too, who have said that, like, I just had to go because my grandmother or my grandfather, it was important to them.
Right.
Not the parent, but the grandparent. I've heard so many people say that.
Yeah, it was just a thing. And most, if you didn't go to a Catholic school, you go to CCD. And it was, we went. I did it right from like first grade to 7th, 8th grade.
Yeah, yeah. See, it was important to my because my father is very Catholic, and he was actually studying. He was in the seminary studying for the priesthood when he met the woman who would eventually become my mother, and fell in love and realized, okay, the priesthood wasn't for him. But the weird thing about me not being confirmed is because my dad continued to be very involved in the church. And in fact, he gives out the wafer on Sunday. He's a Eucharistic minister now, so he's not a full priest, but he still does the thing. Yes,
Body of Christ.
Amen. What are they? Transubstantiation, is that the term for that? When they go blah and everything changes. Anyway, but my dad actually taught a confirmation class.
Oh,
where for a couple of months on Wednesday nights, I remember when I was a kid, there were these other kids who were a couple of years older than me who would come over, and my dad would sit with them in the living room and go over whatever. But for some reason, when I got to be their age, he never approached me about it, which I didn't understand at the time, but I didn't ask.
Which is fine. You didn't want to do it anyway, did you?
No. And I was already, at that age, I was already kind of over it. Like, I'm agnostic, and I pretty much was already by then.
Right.
I already...
You don't believe in an imaginary man in the sky?
Believe it or not, no. I know, it seems crazy, but by the time I was, 13, 14...
How dare you?
I know. It's incredible to think that there's not an invisible...
I'm not listening to this show anymore.
Yeah, that's probably why I have so many liberal positions. It's my godlessness. But... I'm pro-choice. I like immigrants, But, so I didn't really want to have to do it. And I don't know what happened. To this day, I've never asked him. But for whatever reason, he never brought it up to me. He never really pushed it on me. And yet, he taught this class that was, because confirmation, it's one of the 7 sacraments.
Right.
You're expected to do it,
Oh, no, you have to do it.
But somehow I slid by.
They actually, when you get confirmed, you have a confirmation name.
Yes.
They make you change your name, Matt.
Well, you don't change it. You add to it.
Right. Oh.
You get a second middle name, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And
maybe you and I should go get confirmed.
Right. Wouldn't that be great? Well, I mean, it'd be a way to hedge our bets, because if we're wrong and there is an invisible man.
It's the same priest that's still there. I've been waiting for you.
Oh, no.
I've been waiting for you.
How awful would that be?
That's a nightmare. The guy was so creepy.
Yeah.
And made you feel uncomfortable. I was like, I'm later.
Did you ever run into him?
No.
No?
Nope. Wow. But he started calling the house.
Yeah.
Looking for me.
That's
just weird.
That is pretty weird.
And I'm like, Ma? And I just give her the phone. It's, the priest from, Saint blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Jeez. Right.
That is wild.
Like I said, I was always, I was raised in a very good way where, you know what? Always very smart about anyone like touching you or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Be aware of your surroundings. Don't let anyone do,
right.
I was taught that at a very young age.
Right. Absolutely. Well, I mean, there was even a Different Strokes episode about it.
Well, that was a later one. Was that Dudley?
I don't remember. But I do remember it was a very special Different Strokes.
Right. A very serious one.
And I actually remember, for whatever reason, I remember the dialogue. I remember the kid saying, "He tried to touch me, Dad."
Oh, no.
I don't know why I remember that, but that stands out.
Well, you're going back. No, but that, you know what was scary about, like, some of these things that happened, though, is, like, especially in going back to the 1950s where, you had to go to church and you had to go to all your Sunday school and stuff like that. And,
yeah.
Like, hey, so-and-so said this at class. Like, the priest said this, and we were uncomfortable. You're going back, that he's a good man.
Right.
I'm like, well, no, but this is what he said. You know what I mean? Like, that happened.
Yeah, exactly. Ben Dion is in the Facebook live chat. I can't remember if I said hello to Ben or not. Of course, host of the Weekly Dion, Thursdays at 6. Gia says, I totally get it. Wade Hall drives me nutty, but doesn't mind my snark team players. Fred Bonig from the Daily Ripple points out, Jesus wept, John 11:35. Because, of course, Father Bruno says, Jesus doesn't like that.
Right.
Stefan says, Pete is correct. More teary-eyed than a full Eric-type cry.
Right.
I'll probably get teary-eyed at least once at the Palace while Lydon performs with the Central Jazz Band. Proud tears.
That's tonight.
Oh, that's tonight? Wow.
Yeah.
And he says, did you cry at the end of Armageddon?
I don't remember the ending.
I've never seen Armageddon.
I
That's the
did
one with
see,
Bruce Willis, right?
He brought up his son Lydon, and I was talking about Grease 2 today,
Yeah.
and Lydon is in the Maskers over at Central.
Oh.
So I said, next year for your big play, I'm trying to get him to do Grease 2. I saw him on the sidewalk today.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Angela Philbrook says, can Peter disclose which church had the creepy priest? Wondering if it is the same one I knew of.
A lot of creepy priests out there.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of good ones, too. So
yes.
you cannot.
Of course. Of course. There's a lot of good ones.
I don't want to say, I'm not going to say what parish it was.
Okay.
But it was here in Manchester.
Okay. All right. No, there's a lot of good ones, too. And it's important to, and it is important to clarify that, to make that distinction. Because, I mean, and too, and speaking about the church, I mean, it's not as though you have this entire organization that seems to coddle and protect these people from prosecution by moving them around. So,
right.
Oh, wait. Well, anyway, yeah. It probably was the same one.
Well, no, but I'm going to tell you, if you where you can see that, you go somewhere where you can see this whole city.
Yeah.
Right? All the buildings, everything.
You'll be able to see the steeple?
No, but we're loaded with steeples.
Yes.
I mean, there was a Catholic church in every neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And after all the big scandal came down, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they got rid of, I think St. Augustine's is gone. Some other churches in there now or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that true? I don't know. But a lot of these old churches have gone away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Have gone away. And there's, there's obviously the big ones left. But we'll say the parish that this happened to me at is still around.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, it wasn't a life-changing experience for me or anything, but
right.
I was like, this is creepy. told my parents.
Yeah.
And, that was it.
Wow. Did you know New Hampshire is the least church-going state in the country?
I wouldn't know that, but yeah.
Yeah, we are. We
got kicked out once. You know how they go around with the basket?
Yeah.
I thought it was give a little, take a little.
How old were you?
No, I never did that. That was just my joke.
Oh, you should have run with it.
My afternoon joke.
Yes. Oh, your afternoon joke. All right. We're also going to finish out this week with one more classic clip. Again, also by classic, I mean, a few months ago. But always love a great argument on Matt Connarton Unleashed. So that's what we're going to close out with. But thank you for checking out this week's Best of Matt Connarton Unleashed every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. here on WMNH 95.3. Of course, the show is live weekdays from 4 to 6 p.m. from WMNH. And, of course, you can also watch it on the Facebook, on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page, and on Comcast 97 live. But we're going to end this week with Ryan Gorman who comes onto the show once in a while, brings a lot of energy, always very exciting and sometimes controversial. But he got into an argument with Fred Bonig from the Daily Ripple and Ripple Radio, who is a frequent caller, also sends me a lot of great music to play on the show and so forth. I've known both of these gentlemen for a long time, and they got into a bit of a kerfuffle. So we'll finish out with this clip, Ryan Gorman versus Fred Bonig, on this week's Best of Matt Connarton Unleashed.
I think
I don't have to agree with someone politically to get along with them.
No,
though.
I know, but I just it makes it much easier.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
But I think and the other thing about you is if we didn't get along in that department and you and I were still the same, I'll hear you if you're saying stuff that is.
Yeah.
Listen, I have friends that are super conservative.
Yeah.
That I actually will go to. I'm like, I have a real tough time just yelling this one to death, and because they will come back with evidence and facts and again, for me, a lot of that stuff then comes down to, okay, how are we interpreting these facts?
Right.
And basically it comes down to my way of interpreting it is right 100% of the time,
yes,
and yours is not. So.
I enjoy discussing politics with people I disagree with. The only thing I don't like is, like, if I'm talking to a conservative friend and, their response to everything is butter emails and Benghazi, that gets really tired.
Listen, Hillary's a satanic, pedophile, awful, disgusting, should be in jail for horrific. I take that back. I don't know for a fact she's
right.
But based on stuff I've read in the circles that they run in and the weirdos that go along with a lot of that left end stuff is just as bad as the racist red. Yeah,
we got a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this? Hello.
He hung up when he realized he wouldn't get a word in edgewise.
It might be the Phantom. All right, nobody there. Okay. Oh, Fred. Fred Bonig, Fred Bonig from the Daily Ripple just sent me a song I can play later about Trump's taxes, or a song for Trump's taxes. The check's in the mail. It's called. I look forward to that. Thank you, Fred. Fred always sends me great stuff. He's a radio guy. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy. Oh, hello to Dr. Jeff Cassell in the Facebook live chat. Fred says, no, it's not just as bad, LOL.
What's not just as bad?
He's talking about, so Fred would disagree with you about what you said about Hillary.
Okay.
Because Fred will often defend Hillary. Because what happens on the show is, and since we're talking about Hillary Clinton, it's kind of a rule that, and it's my own fault, I brought it up, but we have to play this in the background. It's
her voice. Can you imagine 4 years of that?
Fred's,
Trump, albeit dangerous and scary and wrong, is entertaining with his stupidity.
Fred says 30 years of income taxes, 30 years of investigations, and nothing. Referring to Hillary.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dude, let's look at the fact. Let's just look at her as a human being.
Yeah.
Start with that.
Okay.
Start with her detail that protected her when she was the first wife in Arkansas. Look at people that were close to that family and listen to how she is as a person. She's terrible. She's a smiling liar. I'm probably revving up a lot of liberals. and I'm sorry. I just, like I said, I equally hate bad people.
Because
no matter what side they lean towards.
Let's grab this call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Oh, how are you today, Officer McGuire?
Great.
Manchester Police, how are you today?
Officer McGuire, how are you, Bob?
You two know each other?
Yeah, he's all right. He's nice.
I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I know you're doing a show there. The reason I'm calling, I don't know if it's you. I'm not making any accusations. There's a fair amount of hooligans popping uppers and downers, going around coloring the town with their little spray cans, okay? And I'm not accusing you, but I'm here to tell you, if I do catch you out there, someone's out in my neighborhood doing overpasses, painting female breasts with erect nipples and all kinds of inappropriate things for the kids. I'm going to tell you one time, my mother won Miss Manchester in 1978. This means a lot to me in this goddamn town, all right? I don't want you doing nothing bad, so I'm going to tell you one time. If I catch you, I'm going to make you clean it up.
McGuire, when did they start hiring cops from Alabama to come to Manchester? It's ridiculous.
You can make your jokes, bub. All right. You can make your jokes.
All right, but I'm glad you responded back with the bub.
You pass me on the road, and I hear you rattling in your bag. Not only am I going to strip you, I'm going to make you eat your spray cans because I don't want you vandalizing like GD Town. Listen, I'm not accusing you, bub.
Listen,
right?
man, I am not a vandal. I'm not a vandal.
Get back on duty.
I don't disrupt public property.
Oh, he hung up. You've never
or private property for that matter.
You've never painted a dongle on
never once. I've not painted a single dongle where it shouldn't have been painted.
That's a big relief.
No, I do not. I do not partake in vandalism.
Yes. You know what? That's
a fact.
That disavowal of vandalism deserves a little. Good for you.
Huge fan of street art.
I am also anti-vandal.
Yeah, I don't think that's cool at all.
No, I agree with you. Hello to John Midas Manning in the Facebook live chat. DJ Midas,
one of my oldest and closest friends, right there.
Yes,
well, and a friggin' awesome guy, great friend.
Absolutely, and he has a show here on WMNH every Saturday and Sunday night from 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. Late Night Delight with DJ Midas. It is quite wonderful.
It is. Listen, first of all, if you're from Manchester and you don't know who Midas is, get yourself familiar. In my opinion, I'm not just saying this because it's my friend. I know a lot of other people that would back this statement. Oftentimes, DJs aren't considered real musicians, or they're playing other people's music. Listen, I don't care who you are. If you can put together the pairings of songs, the way that they're put together, the stylings, the cuts, the blends. He is by far, in my opinion, the most creative DJ I've ever heard. Period.
Oh yeah.
He's so original. So his sets are just so methodically put together, and that is from a year of years and years of cataloging thousands and thousands of hours of music that he continues to keep his collection fresh. And I imagine that's been much easier now that things have been digitized.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
I don't think 1000 Elm Street would be able to hold the amount of vinyl this kid had when we were coming up. But he is by far the best DJ I've ever heard, who's made other people's music his own. It's ridiculous.
Let's see. Fred from the Daily Ripple says, fact, 30 years and nothing, but let's hear what you have that isn't third-hand info.
Oh, my God, dude. Give this guy my personal number.
He's picking a fight. He's picking a fight with you on Hillary.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Most softer than a sneaker full of grapes people do. But I'm just kidding, sir. I don't know. You're probably huge. Probably beat the snot out of me.
Yes.
But I already said I don't own any.
No, he's not a violent person.
No, neither am I. I just think, sir, and I respectfully disagree with that. I couldn't be able to pull up a ton of stuff. Like I said, I just can't do that now. I would absolutely do that in another forum or on your forum if we wanted to do that. But I would be happy to have a discussion, friendly back and forth emails, whatever, with this gentleman, trading stuff that I find from sources that are, just as questionable as any source. I mean, it is hard to find. What is true. There's your side, my side, and then there's the truth, and it takes a lot to get to potentially what the truth is. And I just think Hillary sucks.
I thought you were going to say it takes a village.
I can just tell you, I'm a pretty good judge of character. I am, and I'll tell you, she sucks. Trump sucks too.
Well, yeah, who's a little. Midas says, guys, thank you.
Welcome.
Who's a little sweet on her is I think John Hopwood.
Is he? Well, listen. When I was a younger,
he likes Hillary.
When I was a younger fella,
about 7 or 8 inches.
Yeah, he's a little sweet on her.
Yeah, like I said, when I was a younger fella, 7 or 8 inches. Yeah, no, I used to think Hillary was hot.
Oh yeah,
back when in
the early days of the
when the CIA was flying cocaine into the United States to help start
single-handedly
start the crack epidemic.
Oh my!
In black communities. They were landing in an airport. I think I've told you this.
On your
show.
And absolutely. We have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Oh, it's that crazy guy, Fred.
My old pal Fred from the Daily Ripple. How are you, sir? I thought I might hear from you.
Another fine day in paradise.
Yes. Welcome.
I was just letting him go on. He was.
Which I will.
He was
If you
going
allow
to
that to
implement
happen, trust
the
me.
cocaine and all that happened in the 80s.
Oh, so that's wonderful.
Which was under Reagan, but go ahead.
It was under Reagan. Okay. Now,
So
you're
what
going
does
to
that
get me to
have
do
to do
it.
with Hillary again?
All right. First of all, Mr. What is it, Fred?
Yep, Fred Bonig.
Fred. First of all,
and before you go on, just so you know, I voted for Ronald Reagan. I voted for George H. Bush. I voted for Ross Perot. I voted for George W. Bush. I voted for Barack Obama. I voted for Bernie Sanders, and then I voted for Hillary. I have met. Let's see. I have met Hillary.
First of all, I want to say that I appreciate
Trump. I've met all.
First of all, go ahead. I'm being rude.
I think
all I'm saying is that
you don't go
all
one
these
particular
years
way.
that they've had, the most rabid, right wingers trying to get her. They've never pulled it off. I mean, if they couldn't pull it off in 30 years, somebody's got to say, okay, well maybe we need to go for a little bit easier target. Somebody that doesn't have his 30 years of investigation, and then in 2 years they found that he's a major crook, he's all these things. But we're going to focus on Hillary, who they've yet to find anything. I mean, Benghazi again, Benghazi, right? I mean, they did that investigation, they found nothing. They found nothing in her server. I
get what you're saying. First of all, let me start with this. I respect the way that you said you would voted for Ross Perot. You kind of go back and forth a little bit. Seems like you kind of lean right. I would guess politically you probably lean right.
My whole life until 2010.
Okay, and that's fine. I honestly don't care which way a person leans, left or right. But I want to address one of the first things that you said, which was, the CIA and the cocaine, that started in the 1980s. So right there, I'm like, okay, so we have a time frame on when horrific, terrible stuff, it has a statute of limitations. So maybe her personally, but listen, this woman has been in cahoots with her husband and every slime from the beginning of time. So 1980s,
But they never caught him doing anything.
They never caught him doing anything.
Dude, they never actually caught them doing anything.
Who investigates them?
That was trial.
Who investigates them? Who investigates the top echelon?
All the right wingers they investigated. Who do you think Bossy is? Bossy,
dude, listen. First of all, you're talking to somebody who literally thinks they're satanic and I do. I literally think the country, the world over, is run by lizards. I'm not joking. I really do.
Okay.
So that's who you're talking to right now. So right away, I know you're probably going to discount everything I say. You're going to discount everything I say, but that's only because you have only...
I don't believe in lizards.
Right, which to me is ridiculous because you haven't read into all of these things that if you just look at it, it's just like it's so plain and easy to see. I'm not joking. I know I sound like a nutcase, and I really don't care. But
for the record, I believe in lizards. I just don't believe in lizard people.
Yeah, right. Okay. I believe in lizards too.
Okay.
I've seen lizards
reptilians,
all my
the
life.
Anunnaki.
Oh, okay.
Trust me,
Fred. I thought you were. You were a lizard denier. I was confused.
No, I'm not a lizard denier. I believe in geckos. I believe in lizards. I believe in alligators.
When do you believe that? At what point do you believe that our true history and in writings? So anything written by ancient times, is that all BS? All that stuff?
You mean the people who thought the world was flat? The people that worship the sun? The people
that worship the sun? You mean hold on. The people that worship the sun? Yes, the people that worship the sun that every religion virtually is based on? Dude, look how many.
Yeah, because they sat there at the edge of the they had Millennium who sit at the edge of the hillside and watch the sunrise and mark where it was.
Right.
And the skies, because of no light pollution, they could actually see the stars.
Sir.
Yeah, I believe that they made up crap that they believed. Yeah, that they could tell time and they could do numbers based on that. Yeah.
Right, and we're a society in which, and by the way, let me just make this real clear, I'm not a flat earther. But I also, but I also don't discount every flat earther as a moron. I actually will listen to them, and I guarantee you, if you get in a back and forth with a well-read flat earther, which they do exist. I think they're wrong, but they're there.
They're everywhere now.
And they probably know more scientifically than most. Most people that would just... I'm telling you the Earth is round because I saw the shape of it when I was getting here from my home planet. So, yeah, listen,
all right.
I'll take you down all sorts of rabbit holes.
Yes.
No,
well,
listen.
I started believing the Earth was round when my father gave me one of the original Lovell photographs that was signed by the that actually took that picture, and it hung in my bedroom window. I mean,
because they took it from
my bedroom
dude.
wall.
See,
so
he's
I
gonna
believe
make me say stuff that like makes me sound like
I
flat
actually
Earth.
saw it.
Dude, you don't, oh my God! Why does no picture of outer space like the Earth? Not one of them looks anywhere close. They admit they have to use Photoshop, this and that, but I mean, dude, you're getting me way off topic, which is so easy to do. So easy.
You sounded like you were about to make the flat Earth argument.
I'm going to make. Some of the stuff they say is compelling.
That's very obvious. That's where
very obvious stuff like that we are,
and not assume everything is a conspiracy. That's all.
No, everything is not a conspiracy. The one thing is conspiracy. Everything.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah. Just basically said the same thing that you said. Right? No, listen. I have come to find out that everything I'm told is just. Listen, I wasn't. Believe it or not, sir, I was not an ace student growing up, and that actually has zero to do with my intelligence because never, my friend, mistake education for intelligence. There's a huge difference.
I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, there's a huge difference. Now, I've come to find out. So, well, listen, sir, let me ask you this. We start. I hope if there's any children under like 12 listening right now, have them leave the room because I don't want to be this guy that ruins something for kids.
About Santa Claus?
Yeah, dude. From the beginning of time, you're taught not to lie, right, by your parents. Yet they help tell the biggest lie that literally will destroy some children's like entire psyche about trust.
Right.
So now you're telling me that, and all my teachers have told me that was true. So I go to school and I'm told what? And I'm told certain things are a certain way, and I am taught to memorize information. I am not taught to actually go out and research and look for stuff. No, you're told this is this. If you want to know why, look on chapter 13 where somebody else wrote that. So, listen, I just know the Earth isn't flat. I have no reason to tell you why.
Right.
I just know it's not.
Right.
It's just because of basic stuff. But
yeah.
It might happen so when you happen to see the eclipse in that round circle that travels across the moon,
yes,
would kind of give you
dude,
the
I
belief
worry
that
about
that's the shape of the Earth.
shape-shifting reptilians like messing with me. Okay, so I don't. It's. Let me just say this. Let me just say this. There is enough stuff without getting as deep into the lizard stuff as there's plenty of it for you to find if you wanted to look for it. For example, I love this one because this gets people riled up. 9/11 was an inside job.
Uh-oh.
Okay?
Uh-oh.
It was 100% without a doubt. And if you even scratch the surface a little bit on that subject matter, it's just blatantly evident. Okay? I don't need to go into... See, because this is the thing. People be like, well, tell me why. And it's like, dude, I have spent so many hours, like... When you people would say, well, you should have been out doing something constructive. Yeah, like what? Following suit? Listening to everybody else and just doing what everybody's telling me? No, sorry. I spent hours after planes flew into the World Trade Center, almost murdering my brother, okay, who worked there.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, he was there.
So don't come at me with that.
Wow.
I'm not saying this guy did come at me with that. I brought it up.
Right.
But don't sit here and be like, well, that's being rude to the dead. No. Ignoring the truth is absolutely disrespect. Yeah, laugh it up, dude. 3,000 people lost their lives in just those buildings. Cops, firefighters. Sir, let me ask you one question. Why would a federal grand jury be hearing evidence of a controlled demolition now? Why? Sir, why would they be listening, having a grand jury saying that it was a demolition job? Yes, They would need compelling evidence to say that they're going to have that trial, that hearing. Yeah, Matt,
no,
you
they
can
wouldn't
look it
need
up.
compelling evidence. They would only need compelling evidence for the grand jury to indict.
Oh, so
they
you
wouldn't
can just
compelling
evidence
to get a grand jury. Just have somebody say it, and then they say that's why they
all
have
it takes?
grand jury.
Oh my God, Matt! I'm going
because
to have a grand jury
if
look
there
into
was
you.
compelling evidence, then Donald Trump would be, would long be in prison.
Dude, Donald
because
Trump
they've had
is an ass that
many
should be in
hours of
prison.
grand juries without compelling evidence.
Well, you know what? He's if he ever gets indicted, he'll probably skip town to one of his pee parties over in Russia. Dude, listen to me. You just laughed that off, and I can already tell by the way you just laughed that off that you have literally probably zero knowledge in what happened in 9/11. Literally zero.
Oh, I have to disagree with that.
I don't know.
I would love to hear why it was not
the panel that was the at the 10-year anniversary. And we went through the entire report.
Yeah.
Sitting there, I mean,
how
I
about
did that.
How about the families of the victims, dude, that were there that had none of their questions, none of them, answered by the commission? How come Building 7 was left completely out of the report, dude? Completely out of the report. Why? That's what I thought.
I don't know. You tell us why it was left out.
Dude, I'm not going to answer your lack of not even knowing that with an answer.
Oh, no, I know
let
it
me
wasn't
ask
in
you
there.
one more
Fact,
question,
I play
dude,
a song
now you
that
really
talks
got me
about
fired
it.
up.
But that's okay.
No. Let's talk about this. Why did we get into the
it was left
Vietnam War?
out.
This is my favorite one. What was the main thing that led to us getting into the Vietnam War? That killed 55,000 Americans, dude. Okay? Keep them in mind. And all the homeless vets that are out there that get zero respect now that they're home and on the streets. No respect, no dignity given to these guys who saw some of the most horrific stuff in their life. Why did we get brought into that war? The one big thing. There was an incident in the Gulf of Tonkin. Remember what happened?
Yes. They
what happened?
faked it out. They said that they were attacked, and they really weren't.
Okay, no, that's not a big deal, right? Because it was probably 20 years. Oh, it was. It was.
No,
just,
well, it's the same thing as it's the same thing as
the
saying
CIA running
they are
into
throwing
the United
babies
States.
out of incubators. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing as them right now starting a
Hold
war
on,
with
did he just say
Iran.
something about the
and you're
the
talking
Iraq-
to the guy who's chased
throwing
down
babies
all the hawks.
We know what that was about, right?
Yeah.
Is he agreeing with me on that? Because
I think so.
You were saying it's the same thing as the babies being thrown on the floor from the incubators in Iraq, right?
Well, the
Which
Klan.
never happened.
The
Which
Klan,
never happened.
it never happened.
Right.
Nobody seems to have a problem with that. Everyone's just, yes, okay. Yes,
Well,
okay.
most people don't. No, Fred's
most
talked
people
about.
don't know why, because it's not on the news. You have to dig for that
Right,
stuff.
right. Well,
and
Fred-
it sounds like if he knows that, he does.
Well, Fred.
I didn't mean to spread. And
Yeah.
by the way, dude, this is just how I talk to anybody. By the way.
Yes.
I'm like,
It's okay, but let me explain to you something, because I know Matt's going to say it next, but I'll say it for him. Fred's a Gold Star dad. Fred has taken on Tom Cotton. Fred has taken on Lindsey Graham. Fred has taken on Adam Kinzinger. Fred has taken on Ted Cruz. Fred has taken on all these guys.
Yeah, guys that claim to have
personally
dignity
on live
and fame. I'm
camera
not one of them.
about these issues.
Right. Okay.
So you're just talking to somebody who gets the thing about war.
Yeah. Okay.
and
Good.
Starting them over
I'm
nothing.
staunchly anti-war. Period. I think it's disgusting that we do what we do to our youth. Dude, an 18-year-old kid is a child.
Yeah.
5 years from now, that could happen to my son.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you better have somebody at my effing
9 years
door
ago,
with
it
a
happened
gun.
to mine. And I have 3 other kids serving.
God bless him
so
for
I
doing
get
that,
it.
dude.
I mean, I'm a Gold Star dad.
Yeah,
Get it?
and
that
dude,
means I was in Arlington last week where my son was buried 9 years ago. So I mean, I get that. I'm anti-war for a lot of reasons.
I'm sorry for your loss, and I respect you so
I
much for
understand.
having the
Okay.
courage to do that.
But I get it. I mean, just so you understand, I get it.
Good.
And I get that we are out of time for this week's Best of Matt Connarton Unleashed. I want to thank you all for listening and for supporting the show. And thank you for checking out WMNH 95.3 FM. And, I really, it's the best part of my day. Doing the show Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Of course, you can listen on WMNH 95.3, as I know a lot of people do. It's afternoon drive or evening drive, whatever you want to call it, people listening home on their way home from work. Of course, you can also watch the show online on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. If you missed the show, don't worry. just like with all the shows on WMNH, you just go to WMNHradio.org. So whether it's Matt Connarton Unleashed or The Morning Show or The Weekly Die-On, Rob Azevedo with Granite State of Mind. Let's see, what am I? Kyle Heavey with Off the Mark Sports. Any of the shows here on WMNH. You can check out at WMNHradio.org. You can get them on demand because it is an on-demand world. But that's it for now. Hey, I'll talk at y'all on Monday live at 4 p.m. Have a great rest of your weekend. And I'm out of here. I'll talk at y'all, as I like to say during the week. I'll talk at y'all a little bit later. Bye, everybody.